Good morning, Cutco world. Seth Kinzer coming to you from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I just want to thank you all for attending this conference or workshop or whatever it is that you guys are currently viewing this at. I'm just really grateful for the opportunity to share with you guys some of my experiences when it comes to the topics of kind of future financial planning slash saving slash investing. Just prepared basically a real quick 5 to 7 minute talk that I'm just going to be rattling through lessons I've learned over the last 10 11 years through my time with Cutco. So tip number one, I'm going to get right into it. Tip number one, savings. Automate the heck out of it. I always say we do not rise to the occasion, we fall to our standards. So what is your standard and your relationship with saving money, right? We are not naturally savers, right? Our whole society is built around, make money, spend money, buy this, buy that, instant gratification, right? So what do we need to do? We need to treat saving like a bill, right? Set up a savings account in your bank and treat savings like a bill, like it comes every single week, where it's like, hey, I got a check for $500. Cool. $100 goes into savings. $200 goes to this. $100 goes to this. But automate the heck out of it, right? A great way to do that is through Vector Connect as well. This is something I was talking about with my wife Kelly yesterday, and she was like, the great thing about like a withholdings account is it's money you never see. Right, so many of you, if you've been around long enough, know that you can do this. If you don't, you can set up a withholdings account on Vector Connect. It's very easy to do. And what's great is it's money that's always accessible to you very quickly, but it's just an extra step basically to get it. And so what it does is it deters you from using and spending that money. I found that oftentimes when I have money in the bank, I spend the money because I'm like, oh yeah, I have the money, right? Versus maybe that money's earmarked for taxes, maybe that money's earmarked for future financial investments, things like that. So automate the heck out of your savings. Do an automatic monthly transfer. Many of your banks have that ability. You can just automatically transfer $50 a week, $50 a month, whatever it is. Again, the key is to start now. There's a quote, I can't remember who it's from, but it's, when was the best time to start investing and saving? Well, 5 years ago. But when's the second best time? Now. So do something today, right? Tip number two, set a budget and stick to it. I can't tell you how often, if you're not in control of your money will be in control of you, meaning that you'll just end up spending it on random things. And if you don't know where your money is going, it is leaking out in 100 different ways. So be a steward of your money, track your money, assign your money a job, meaning like when it comes in, assign it to savings, assign it to your general fund, meaning that like, hey, like I believe in like, I work hard so I can buy nice things, experience nice things, have fun in life, do really fun experiences. But again, all the money is just not just open for the fund, right? Make sure the money has a job and give it that. Know where your money is going each month. Knowledge is power, but especially when you know what your money is going towards, right? Because you'd be shocked at how often I talk to people that have no idea what their monthly budget is. And I'm guilty of that too. Like I've been very guilty of this in the past, and like even now, like through COVID, right? Where this all of a sudden, like my normally very stable, very reliable income, where oh yeah, I sold 200 grand in August, right? That's what I've done multiple years. Like I've sold 150, 200, 300 grand every summer. So it's like, oh, well, yeah, so I'm gonna make 150 grand this summer. Well, all of a sudden, all my events are canceled, right? So what's your monthly budget, right? And so oftentimes there are little leaks in our budget that we don't even realize. And again, we don't rise to the occasion, we fall to our standard. What is our standard when it comes to spending money, saving money, assigning money a job? Again, you will thank yourself 20, 30, 40 years from now when you get a really clear idea of what you're spending your money on, because you'd be shocked at how many different habits that are only a $5 purchase here or a $10 purchase here end up being $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 thing over the course of a year. And then a 5, 10, 15, 20,000 thing over the course of 3 to 5 years. And then all of a sudden, $100, $200, $300,000 expense over the course of your life, right? So Have an emergency fund. That's tip number 3. Set up and have an emergency fund. That's something that's very, very important, especially to start at a young age. Just get in that habit of, hey, I always have a standard minimum of money in the account so that if an emergency happens, I'm covered, right? Dave Ramsey, if you've ever heard of him, he's a financial guru, and he's the author of like the Total Money Makeover. Talks about the fact that emergencies seem to happen a lot more often when there's not an emergency fund, right? And why is that? Because if you have money in the bank, a tire getting blown out on the side of the road isn't as big a deal, because all of a sudden you're not like, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay this $300 or $400 bill? Throw it on a credit card, which then accrues interest and then accrues interest. It's just crazy. So again, set up an emergency fund, and like that should be like in a savings, like a separate savings account, where it's just like, hey, this money is not touched, it's not spent. This is not money I dip into for my fund, or my fund. But $500 minimum is the goal you should be shooting for, with the ultimate goal being that you have 3 to 6 months worth of money saved. Meaning that like if you a death in the family, a crazy car accident, if something happens, you can live for 3 to 6 months without having to work and without having to worry, right? Stress free. Tip number 4, set up a Roth IRA. It is I believe this is Einstein and also Benjamin Franklin that were credited with this. There's no stronger force in the entire world than than compounding interest, where your money makes money, right? And there's endless studies about how the person that starts saving at 18 and saves $2,000 a year for for whatever, I think it's 12 years, so they're 30 years old now and they stop saving, right? They save $2,000 a year, and up to 30 years old, and then they just let compounding interest take effect for the next 30 years until they retire. And the person that then starts at 30, right, and starts saving $2,000, starts saving $4,000 a year at 30, and saves it for the next 30 years, still doesn't catch up, even though they're doubling the amount of money that they're saving. Still does not catch up to the person that started saving at 18. So start today. Again, going back to when's the best time to have done it? Well, yeah, 5, 10, 15 years ago. When's the second best time to do it? Now, right? Start doing it now. Start building these muscles and building these habits now, because we are the result of our daily habits, right? Our results are a culmination of our daily habits. So it's very, very, very helpful to do that. And again, you have great managers who are generally great with their money, right? Anybody who's successful, a John Carpenter, a Dane Espegard, right? When you look at them and you look at the amount of success they've achieved, right? It doesn't matter how much money you make, it matters how much money you save. And both of these people have been very diligent in the amount of money that they save. And by simply applying some of these simple habits, you'll be amazed at the results that you'll see, again, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now. And you'll thank your future self will thank you for the simple habits that you implemented. So good luck, save lots, make lots, sell some knives.